Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having a lovely Tuesday so far. It is Sunday morning here. I have just finished off a gym session this morning, the last one for the week, but I'm in the kitchen because today we are going to meal prep together. Now, I have already got food sorted for the whole of today, so I'm in no rush to do this. I'm going to try get the majority of it done nice and early. It is about 8:30 in the morning at the moment, so I'm wanting to make sure I have the afternoon nice and free to relax rather than getting my meal prep done then. I do have to duck off to the shops when they do open at about 11 to get some things I missed, so I won't be able to do everything first thing this morning. So because of that, you will see some clips later on in the video from later today when I do get around to getting to the shops and getting the things that I am missing. We are meal prepping breakfast to start off with this morning. I do need to eat fairly soon, so I'm going to break up my meal prep by having some food, snacks, as well as lunch and dinners. One of my lunches and dinners I won't be able to meal prep till after, and I'm going to try out a little carrot cake kind of muffin recipe today as well and see how that goes. But keep on watching if you'd like some recipe ideas as well, because I'm going to leave all the ingredients and you'll see exactly how I am going to make it. But let's get rolling. So starting off hot here, we are going in for what is technically going to be kind of my snacks for this week, my AM snack. So we've got a ham, a egg, and a cheese muffin here. So all you literally need is one English muffin, 2 slices of ham, a slice of cheese, and 1 egg. So I'm cutting up all the muffins here, going to pop those in the toaster so they are slightly toasted. I've got the pan heating on a medium heat to cook up the eggs. I have non-stick pans, so I don't use any oil, but if you don't, you might need to add a little bit. Next up, once the muffins have toasted, I am just popping on my 2 slices of ham and then my cheese on top of that. So you'll see in a second I have a specific way I like to do my cheese, just so when I reheat them in the morning, the cheese doesn't spread everywhere. So I will actually fold and break the cheese up into quarters and kind of make it in a little bit of a circle or towards the center of the muffin there, as you can see on the screen now. After the eggs have sealed on one side, you want to flip them over and cook the other. Now, do not mind my absolutely terrible egg flipping today. I completely made a mess of these as I was doing it. But for this recipe, I prefer to have my eggs a little bit runny, so when I heat them up, they're not completely solid. So I take them off a little bit early and then just pop them on top of the cheese that I've just put on top of my muffins. Now, once your muffins have cooled down, you want to package them up. So I use a sheet of baking paper, actually. Number one, if you want to freeze them, you can 100% can, especially with baking paper. And number two, baking paper is so easy to pop in the microwave and just microwave them through for that morning snack there. So I also pop them in a glass container so they store nice and easily in the fridge. Okay, next up on the meal prep list is butter chicken. So this will be my lunches for this week. Really super easy ingredient list. All you need is chicken, butter chicken, simmer sauce, a vegetable of some sort or some vegetables, as well as rice. So I'm currently preheating a pot of water for my veggies, also the pan to cook my chicken and my sauce in, and then dicing my chicken into kind of smallish chunks. And when the pan is preheated, I'm going to pop that in there and just cook until the chicken is sealed on the outside. Meanwhile, I'm chopping my broccoli up into florets, and I will essentially blanch that in the hot water. It is literally the easiest way I tend to do it. You can steam it as well. But once the chicken is sealed, I'm adding in my simmer sauce, just rinsing out the container as well with a little bit of water, just so I can have that on simmer for a little while. And then meanwhile, while this is all going on, I have also put my rice in the rice cooker. That is the only way I cook mine, and getting my containers out to divvy things up. So if you were in a deficit or you were sharing meals with a partner, I would probably weigh out to make sure each container is fairly similar, but I know I'm going to eat this all over the next week or so it doesn't matter in terms of weighing out specific portions there, because it is the same calories overall there. But divvy everything up. I popped half of these in the freezer and kept half of them in the fridge for the week. Third meal prep of the day, and we're heading back to breakfast. So I am making some overnight Weet-Bix. This was a new kind of toppings I tried: salted caramel sauce and apple. Not gonna lie, it was not the best combination I've come up with, but that is absolutely okay because we live and we learn. So how I make mine is 3 Weet-Bix because I'm currently in a surplus, but if you were in maintenance or maybe a deficit, you might only do 2. I kind of crunch it all up so it's broken up into little pieces. And then I'm going to add my protein powder directly to my Weet-Bix, adding a little bit of water and then mixing and stirring that together until all the protein powders kind of combined with the water. Now you'll see me in a second. I'll then go to press that mixture down on the bottom layer of the containers, and then I'm going to add my yogurt to the top. Now you can add your protein powder in with the yogurt, but I honestly find this way is just so much easier and less mess and less dishes to have to wash another bowl, for example, to mix a protein powder in. The amount of protein powder I've used here is 15 grams, but depending on how much I have left to hit my protein target for the day will depend on how much I put in this kind of meal. But I'm now topping it with that salted caramel sauce. Again, regrets on using this, but we live and we learn. And then chopping my apple into thin slices, attempting to do some sort of circle formation with it, but I think my containers were a little bit small for that. Okay, fourth recipe for the day is admittedly a new one that I haven't tried before, and there will be some tweaks that I will make if I do it again, but it is some sort of baked Mexican rice bowl. So very easy to put together. All you need to do is throw all of the ingredients into a oven-proof container and just pop it in the oven for a little while. So here you can see me adding the rice. The amounts will be up on the screen. Also adding an entire can of corn and black beans between the 8 serves, as well as an 800-gram can of diced tomatoes. But the next thing I go ahead and pop in as well is the raw mince, which was so weird to break that up and pop it between all of the containers, but you got to do what you've got to do, and it was, as I said, so easy to prep. Now the thing that I missed is taco seasoning, so do not forget that, because I had to add it in every single time I went to reheat my food here, and also adding a cup of water with a little bit of beef stock powder in there as well. So that is exactly what's going to cook the rice. Now, I'm not sure if I got my quantities a little bit wrong, but it was a little bit mushy for my liking in terms of the texture. It's maybe something I wouldn't necessarily do in a 1 container oven bake. pancake, but rather on the stove instead, and cook the rice a little bit separately. But that is just my preference. But once everything is in the containers, giving them a thorough mix through and then popping them in the oven. My oven is terrible, so as you can see, so old school, so I had to do it for quite a while. I believe it was like 40 minutes, but the ones in that middle shelf cooked a little bit quicker. So popping that in, I will pop timings up for you on the screen now and wait till that is done. Now midway through, I did pop some cheese on top as well. And lastly, the time for the star of the show. We've got little carrot muffins here. Now, I will preface that again, I made this recipe up off the top of my head, so it is not perfect the first time I made it, but I know exactly what I would change for next time, so I will let you know. But this that I'm currently scooping out half a cup of is Kodiak protein pancake mix. So I got this from Costco. I believe you can get it online at Amazon as well, and I'm sure there's certain stores that have their own version of protein pancakes. But grabbing that, I popped in around a teaspoon of cinnamon, again making up these quantities, and I also grated up a carrot. I didn't quite use the whole thing though, so keep that in mind. And the oat milk in the background, I do add that in and mix that all together. Again, I have no idea how much I used here. I just kind of kept adding it until it was a cake or pancake kind of consistency. And the one thing I wish I had have added into the mixture was actually some sugar. It was very savory tasting, not so much sweet. So whether you wanted to add some white sugar or a low calorie alternative, that is definitely what I'm going to do next time. But in terms of quantities, it actually worked out really, really well. So I popped in the oven for about 15 minutes. I set a timer for 10, checked it, needed a little bit more, put it on for a little bit more, and then came back to it. And as you can see, as long as the tops were a little bit brown, then I took them out of the cupcake tin for them to cool down. And then the final step was actually just adding some cream cheese to the top once they had cooled. So again, not really weighing anything, but I would say about 15 or so grams per cupcake. Hello everyone, I just wanted to pop my face in here right at the end and thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you've gotten some new recipes that you are able to try, and as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next week with another video.